Oh man. So I'm only making this live because some people have reached out and said, Mike, why haven't you said anything about it? It's like, I mean, what can I say that I haven't already said? But before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Lynette for your donation. Thank you so much. I checked my P.O. box the other day and I got the check and the cash you sent. So thank you. And also, shout out to everybody else that donates on the regular, whether it's through PayPal or Patreon or Cash App, or if you're a monthly subscriber through this little YouTube thing. I appreciate all you guys. So yeah, you ain't black. You ain't black. This is, and I already said what I pretty much had to say on Twitter and Instagram, and I pretty much posted everywhere but YouTube. But I figured, I'm at work today. It's raining. Why not? Why not have a little fun? Okay, so here's the big thing for me. Why is anybody acting surprised and outraged? Why are people surprised and outraged? I was not surprised or outraged. What surprised me about it was his honesty, right? He said exactly what he thinks. He said what all Democrats actually think. That's what they think. They think that black people are owned by them. That's just what they think. And if we're being truthful, if we're being honest with ourselves, they do own the black vote. They do. They've had monolithic support for decades. And people like Larry Elder, Thomas Sowell, Malcolm X, we can go back as far as we need to, have said the Democrats are the wolves in sheep's clothing and they're just taking advantage of black people. That's just the truth, right? And we just give them our vote. I'm not going to say we, I'm going to say black people as a larger group have given the Democrat Party our vote and our support. And the reason why I say that they own the black vote, they still do. Joe Biden is emboldened to say that because he feels very confident. It's no different than Hillary. Is it working with her pandering? It's no different than any other politician that panders. The only difference is Joe Biden's running for president and he just said it bluntly. You ain't black. And how could he say something like that unless black liberals who really empower white liberals to say the things they say? I mean, the only racism I experience as a conservative, as somebody who supports the president, comes from white people who don't like Trump. White people who call conservatives racist. They call me race traitor. They call me Uncle Tom. They call me coon. You know who else calls me that? Black liberals. So they don't check white liberals when they say that. They still vote in lockstep with them. They're still in alignment with them ideologically. So Joe Biden is emboldened by probably people around him, probably Simone Sanders, probably the people who are doing damage control for him right now, bending over backwards to defend him. That's not what Joe really meant. I mean, I understand what he means. And the fact that he said, yeah, you ain't black if you don't vote for me. Democrats think that black people are owned by them. They've always felt that way if you really want to go back even further, right? Slavery. He said that, and I looked on Twitter, and a lot of the comments said, I will vote for Joe Biden anyway. I don't care that he said that because of the mind control, because of the orange man bad, because we hate Trump. So Joe Biden could basically reintroduce the crime bill, and he's still going to get a majority of the black vote. This is just the truth, people. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's like they own the black vote. Okay, so we just have in the black community, we have this like, I don't know, Stockholm syndrome. It feels like an abusive relationship, right? If it was a relationship between Democrats and black people, we're the girlfriend that's getting abused, getting mistreated. They're black in our eyes, beating us up. Our friends and family can see it. They're saying, hey, you should get out of that relationship. And we're like, no, he loves me. That's the same thing. This is no different than an abusive relationship. We just give them our support, even though nothing changes. Every 4 years, they just turn us into these single issue voters. And they tell us, hey, vote for me because racism. That's it. Single issue voters. racism, poverty, uh, injustice, all those things they say, all the talking points, the usual talking points they use, right? So they do that every 4 years. This is no different. We've been talking about race a lot, haven't we? Hasn't race been in the news cycle a lot for the past 2 weeks? The Ahmaud Arbery story, the shooting in Indiana, or was that Indiana? I don't remember where it was. Um, the thing in Michigan. There's just a lot of racism, race, race divisive stories in the headlines. That's what they're talking about, and it's an election year. So nobody should be like pearl clutching and shocked and surprised and appalled that Joe Biden said what he said, because he said what they think. And there's something refreshing about that honesty, because a lot of people, not all, but a lot are waking up to this, and they're seeing like, damn, he really just thinks that he's going to get my vote because I'm black. He's reduced me to my skin color. Unfortunately, a lot of people are trapped in this tribal matrix mindset. It's a control mechanism. If you can get people to think of themselves only as what they are, not who they are, they're going to be easy to control. And if you can sprinkle on some orange man bad, then someone like Joe Biden can get away with murder, and he's still going to get the black vote. What does that say about black people? Not all, but the ones that are going to overlook everything he says and still vote for him. If he reintroduced the crime bill, they would still vote for him. He could go on TV right now. There could be a video surface right now of Joe Biden saying the N-word, and people are still going to be so brainwashed, so mind controlled, so I hate Trump so much that Joe Biden must be better. See, this election coming up is about voting against Trump. It's not about voting for Biden. There isn't a single person out there that's enthusiastic about Joe Biden. Nobody can name any of the policies he's running on. They just hate Donald Trump. I've said it from the beginning. Trump derangement syndrome is not healthy. Has anybody who hates Trump ever hated anyone so much in their life? Someone who doesn't even know you exist, someone you've never met, and you hate them so much that you would vote for Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, whoever, as long as it's not him? Isn't that crazy? Does that make any sense that people would be that angry at Trump that they'll just let Biden slip with this? But that's what I saw on Twitter. That's what I saw, because of this inferiority complex, this low self-esteem, this we think that we're less than mentality. And when I say we, I'm talking about people who are on the left, people who see themselves only as what their skin color is, not who they are, not what their intellectual ability is, not what their talent is, just their skin color. That's all that matters. They say they're black first, not Christian first, not child of God first, not American first, black first. What does that even mean? See, I could go down a whole rabbit trail on the whole idea of blackness and being Afrocentric and all that, which I just don't get it. I don't see a point. It just feels really primitive. It feels old school. I'm just too intellectual for that. I see myself as an individual, and that's why Joe Biden said what he said. If you ask me, I think he said that because he was lashing out at people like me, who are not easy to control, people who do not fall for the BS, people who can see right through this, which is the black conservative. The black conservative is confident. The black conservative is a free thinker, an independent thinker, someone who's not just going to fall into some matrix, someone who can see beyond their skin color, right? So people like me is who Joe Biden's talking about, obviously. You ain't black. And for him to say that, it represents how the Democrats feel. Right now, they're afraid. They are scared because they're losing grip on power. Even though it seems like they've gained a lot of power, they have through this pandemic. They're losing power. That's why they want the borders open. That's why they've moved on to their new residual voting block, which is illegal immigrants. That's their goal, to bring in as many illegal immigrants as they want to replace not just black people, but all Americans. They're like, let's just get illegals over here. Let's bring them up here. Let's use welfare as a magnet. Let's, stigmatize anybody that talks bad or wants immigration to be curtailed. Let's demonize them. Let's shut down any conversation. Let's censor people who tell the truth. They're lashing out. That's what that was, lashing out. Vote for me or you ain't black. And he felt comfortable saying it because he's emboldened by the people around him. I mean, if you look at it, like in the, if you just have to talk about race, right? In the black race, we're the only race that cannibalizes, shames our own. If two white people disagree, if there's a white liberal and a white conservative, they just disagree. They might name call, but they just disagree. They don't say like, you're a race traitor, you're not white unless you're a conservative. We're the only ones that do that. And then we use these like disgusting old names from slavery. See, a lot of that mentality is still like, we think that we're slaves. What it, I just don't get it, guys. I don't get it. But that's kind of where this Joe Biden statement comes from. It comes from white liberals feeling emboldened and feeling confident and cocky enough to go out and say stuff like that, like Hillary Clinton on the Breakfast Club after they called her out, after they said, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say you're pandering because you said you got hot sauce in your purse. Her response was, is it working? I mean, you can't get more arrogant than that. And guess what happened? After she said all that, after all her pandering in the past, after the crime bill, after she called people super predators, she still got a majority of the black vote. So what does that tell you about the mindset? It's monolithic support and it's single issue voting. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be shocked that Joe Biden said, vote for me or you ain't black. I think it's very crazy of him to say that. I think he's an idiot, right? But it didn't piss me off because I'm like, okay, he's a dumbass. But as far as the way I think, I don't have confidence issues. I don't have an inferiority complex. Matter of fact, I'll look any white person in their face and tell them, I'm your equal. I don't care if they disagree or not. I'm your equal. In the eyes of God, our creator, I'm your equal. You're going to pay taxes and you're not getting out of here alive. You bleed the same blood as me. And that's just what it is. And I'm not gonna allow the system that's been created, that I was born into, to control and dictate my worldview. Period. The world will control you if you let it. It will impose its will. And that's what a lot of people have done. They're like, well, the system's set up to where, you know, it's black and white and it's all about race. Okay, well, that system sucks. I don't agree with that system, so I'm not going to live my life in according to that system. So yeah, there are racial disparities and discrimination and all that stuff, but people, even like white supremacists, they're caught in the same matrix. They put their skin color over everything else, when at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like I said, cancer doesn't discriminate, obesity doesn't discriminate, a speeding train coming at you doesn't discriminate. You're all susceptible to the same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same threats in the world, the same, you know, dangers that exist. If a tsunami came and hit wherever you live, do you think it's going to be like, well, it's going to get all the white people or the black people? There are dangers far greater than what you think are out there just because of your skin color. I just think that it's something I could talk about forever. This is why I talk about the party switch myth. When I first started this YouTube channel, I talked about the party switch myth because I thought it was fascinating. And you could see that the parties never switched. If they still hold the same ideology as they did back then, they still feel entitled to the fruits of other people's labor. They still want to control you. They still want to control the decisions you make. They literally think that they have ownership over you. It's all about control at the end of the day. There are people always trying to control you. You think about the people who want censorship, right? Mika Brzezinski. We need to take Donald Trump off Twitter. Why? Because you don't like him? You should be able to control who says what online because you don't like him? See, there are narcissists across all races, which is why, again, I just say it's all about good and bad, right and wrong, evil, not evil, right? But this whole skin color, this identity politics, that's literally what Joe Biden is pushing, is identity politics. What it means to be black is monolithic support of a party, a political party that does not represent individual interests. It represents collective interests, regardless of your race. It's not about who you are as an individual. It's about the collective. It's all about the collective, right? So those are basically my thoughts. I had a bullet point list of stuff, but I think I got pretty much everything out that I wanted to say. I just think, you know, for anybody to act surprised that Joe Biden said that, I mean, you're not being honest with yourself. Like, right? He, first of all, he says crazy stuff all the time. We know that he's not done. He's just getting started. All he did was say the quiet part out loud. And for people, black people in the media, to do this kind of damage control and try to defend him, just says what they think of themselves. If you have to try to make sense of it and do mental gymnastics and be like, he didn't really mean that, what he actually meant was he'd hold his record up against Trump's. You mean the crime bill? Some of the statements he's made before, saying poor kids are just as smart as white kids. See, these are all Freudian slips. Remember when he said that? How come there wasn't that much outrage then? There was no outrage then. And he was talking to a crowd of people, and they just clapped after he made that Freudian slip, even though he went afterwards. He's like, yeah, Hispanic kids and Asian kids. He said poor kids are just as smart as white kids. I mean, that's what he actually thinks in his mind, but he came out and said it, but he didn't mean to say it that way. Freudian slip, right? So again, not going to pretend like I'm shocked by it, and I don't know why anybody would. He's just playing the same old game of identity politics. Your skin color is not everything. It's the only thing, and you should vote based on that. Period. That's what they're saying. That's what all Democrats are saying. Luciano said, is this a byproduct of normies jumping into politics like a video game? Also, did you hear they want to prolong the election? I am not surprised by that, even a little bit. In fact, I mean, we might as well get ahead of it now. I don't know why Republicans won't get ahead of it now, but we all know that there's going to be a second wave of COVID-1984 that comes right before the election. And it's a way for them to justify mail-in voting ballots or mail-in ballots, right? Trump has been calling it out, to his credit, but he better not forget about it. And other Republicans better not forget about it and better keep talking about it. Point out the hypocrisy of it. Like, oh, standing in line to pick the president is dangerous, right? You might be spreading the virus, but you can cram into a Costco right now. You can go into a Walmart, right? So I'm not surprised that's what they want to do. And if they have their way, they're going to do it. This election is going to be crazy, guys. Oh, I see I got a super chat here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Somebody sent a super chat, but I cannot see it right now. You must have sent it a while ago. Hold on. Here we go. Tony Patriot. Thanks, Mike. More truth like always. Appreciate you, man. And Griefers Crew. Thank you, man. Appreciate you for the super chats. God bless all of you guys. You guys help keep this channel going. We all know that this channel gets about 1,000 to 2,000 views per video, regardless of the topic, regardless of if the content's on point, which it always is, but it could be the most hot topic right now. I could be breaking the news, but the algorithms will suppress it. They've been doing that to me for over a year now because my message is that damn effective. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'm going to wrap up here soon because I need to get some things done so I can go home. It's pouring rain today. But yeah, I just had to say that, you know, I'm tired of this like racially divisive talk on both sides. You know, a lot of conservatives rush to talk about that nursing home incident where the black dude's beating up the white dude or whatever, and they're talking about, oh, I want the media covered. It's like, you know why the media won't cover it. Don't act surprised if the media won't cover it. And like pointing to it saying, look, that's not going to change anything. It's just like when we say, look, it's Trump supporters getting attacked. Trump supporters aren't violent. The media doesn't care. They don't care. But people are focused on the racial aspect of it. It could have been racially motivated. Cool. That very well might have been a racially motivated attack. But what is racism? What is it? It's a microcosm of evil. It's just evil. It's just people doing wrong things. People who are possessed by the devil to do something evil. If it's not the devil, then what is it? What possesses somebody to try to run people over with their car for supporting the president? Have you ever done that? Do you know anybody that would do that? Okay, so what comes over a person's mind to think logically that that makes sense to do. What came over that dude's mind to think I'm going to beat this old man in the face in the nursing home? It's evil. You can call it racism if you want, sure, but it's evil. And anybody's capable of evil, right? We can all be evil if we choose to be evil, if we let that dark energy in. So that's just pretty much what I have to say about it, man. It's like 2020, if you're not leveling up and seeing what's really happening, if you're not connecting with that divine energy, if you're not connecting to God and seeing what's actually important, seeing what's happening to humanity, you're stuck in the matrix. You just are. There is no left, right. There's no Democrat, Republican. As much as I talk about the Democrats, sometimes I have to, just to make a point. But I see beyond this bogus two-party system. Both parties are responsible for the state of this country right now. Republicans talk a lot, but they haven't done a lot. And after Trump gets out of office, there's going to be a major power vacuum. Who's going to fill that void? What will become after this? What will the country become after we get past this? Because life as we knew it is over. That's done. That old way of operating is done. We can go one of two ways. We can go the communist route, which looks like they're taking us that way, or we can gain more freedom as more people start to level up and start to look at things more critically. As business licenses are getting stripped, people are starting to question, like, why did I need a license to operate my business in the first place? Why do I need a permit to go fishing? Why do I pay so much in federal income tax? Why do I pay anything in federal income tax? Taxation is theft. See, that kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. I just want people to really level up and look at it more, I don't know, logically, and pull away from this nonsense. Someone said open eyes and hearts. You know, and just know, guys, America failing hurts everybody. It hurts everybody, right? Communism, socialism, authoritarianism, that doesn't discriminate. Business closures, that hurts everybody. Let me see a few of these comments and then I gotta go. Someone said I had one of the most underrated video podcast shows of all of the internet. I mean, it's not a popularity contest. Would I love to have a bigger audience? Yes. I do have about 100,000 followers if you combine all my social media platforms. And a lot of the big content creators know who I am. I've collaborated with a lot of them. So I just think it's really important to get the message out, get the truth out, regardless if my channel's monetized, regardless if I gain another subscriber, regardless of how many views I get. As long as I'm spitting truth, as long as I'm launching these vibrations into the ether, they'll reach the people they need to reach. Someone said I'm a scary man, says a sarcastic old guy. I am scary. There's nothing scarier than someone who can't be controlled. There's nothing scarier to the people who want to control others, right? I don't care. I want everybody to be as free as they want, so long as they don't tread on anybody else. It's really that simple. How hard is it to just be on the side of freedom? Freedom, freedom, freedom. Nothing but freedom. You were born free. Freedom is your birthright. I'm tired of all these politicians lying. I'm tired of this indoctrination, this ideological lie that you're entitled to things just because you exist. No, you don't work, you don't eat. That's true in the animal kingdom, it's true in humanity, right? There's no such thing as socialism in the animal kingdom. If a wolf wants to eat, a wolf must hunt. If a human wants to eat, a human must work. You must produce, you must provide. Engage in commerce, participate in the marketplace. Use your God-given talents and wisdom and skills to create, make the world a better place. But if everyone's just complacent in some utopian dream, some pipe dream, pie in the sky, AOC, oh, healthcare is a human right. Everybody should get free housing, free food. Okay, nobody's going to create anything. And all you're going to do is bring down people who are successful, right? You just create this level playing field where everyone's life sucks, except for the politicians, right? It's always the politicians. They're always good. That's why they can so confidently say, we need to keep businesses closed because you're going to kill grandma if you go to the beach, because their job's always safe. No matter what happens, no matter when jobs are closed, housing market crash, how come politicians are always good? They're always good. They don't ever have to worry. So anyways, I'm wrapping up, guys. That's all I had to say. Appreciate you guys who support me, even though I don't make videos every single day. I wish I could. I've been very distracted. I've got a lot of things on my plate. I will be out and about on Wednesday. God, forbid there's no rain, because the president will be coming to Central Florida, which you guys know, that's my stomping grounds. He'll be visiting the Space Coast, which is my backyard, for a launch. And I hope that the weather doesn't stop it from happening. But there's supposed to be a space shuttle launch on Wednesday for the first time in decades. We're launching humans into space. So Trump will be here for that. So I'll have to hit the pavement and do some live streaming, do some pre-recorded videos, something like that. So you guys just stay tuned for that. God bless you. Thanks to everyone that super chatted, donated. You guys enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. I'll catch you in the next video.